Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are here for another Vlogmas video. If you're just tuning in, I am uploading every single day. Each of my videos are a collab video, so we will jump into who I am collaborating with in just a moment. But today's video is a fun one because I am going to be sharing with you my favorite eyeshadow palette from 10 popular brands. That's right. I had to pick a favorite palette from 10 brands that I feel like you may be familiar with. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you would like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the KBella fam. But why don't we go ahead, I'll introduce who I'm collaborating with and we'll talk about some eyeshadows. Today's video is in collaboration with the beautiful Kelsey Brianna J. She was known here on YouTube for many, many years. She's been on YouTube for so long. I think it's like 12 years or something like that. She was known for many, many years by her name, Kelsey Brianna J. But she talked on her channel about having to start over, and she recently started her new channel, which is House of KBJ. Her channel will be listed down below. Her video will be listed down below. But I am super excited to be collaborating with her because Kelsey is a new friend of mine. I have been saying in a lot of my videos that these are people I've been friends with for a while, and I have followed Kelsey for a while, and we have chatted. We've kind of known each other through the community. We've DM'd back and forth. I've watched her videos for many years, but we are just starting our friendship, which is super exciting. I am going to have the chance to meet her in 2023. I'm super excited about that. And Kelsey was so gracious to collaborate with me. I reached out to her and said, hey, I'm doing Vlogmas a little bit different. I want each of my videos to be a collab. Would you collaborate with me? And I came to her with an idea, and it was a tag video, and she was like, ooh, like, I'm kind of tagged out, but I would love to collaborate with you. Let me know if you're open to other things. So this video idea was actually Kelsey's idea, and I think it was brilliant. I love talking about eyeshadow palettes. I love watching videos about eyeshadow palettes. So thank you, Kelsey, so much for not only agreeing to collaborate with me, but also for coming up with this great idea. Like I mentioned, Kelsey's going to be linked down below. I will be watching her video while you're watching this one. Definitely go check her out if you haven't. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Okay, so for this video, Kelsey and I have 7 brands that we are going to talk about together, and then she has 3 brands that I don't have palettes from, and I have 3 brands that she didn't really have palettes from, so you're getting a wide variety here. But we're gonna start with the 7 brands that Kelsey and I are going to be chatting about together, and first up is Natasha Denona. Now, Natasha Denona is one of my favorite brands. I love her eyeshadows so much. I think the formula is great. The pigmentation is amazing. So when I'm thinking about the color story that I enjoy the most, it has to go to this year's release, the My Dream palette. I'm a neutral lover. I love neutral eyeshadows. I love eyeshadows that I feel like are quick and easy. Not that color is not quick and easy, but it's not quick and easy for me. And this color story just really does it for me. You have like these beautiful neutral mattes in here, but you can also deepen it up. You have this beautiful duochrome shade. It's like a shifty, let me see if you can see it in the mirror. It's like a shifty, like green, purple. I don't know if it's picking up, but it's gorgeous. And then you have like this taupey shade that I really love, a nice inner corner. I just feel like Natasha Denona really nailed her quality. I feel like the quality is amazing, but this color story is definitely a color story that's for me, and it's a new release. It's new in my collection, but it's definitely my top favorite right now. I've tried a few different Pat McGrath eyeshadows. We've done some quads, I've done the Bridgerton collab, and recently I have tried out a couple of her motherships. So when I'm thinking about my favorite Pat McGrath palette at the moment, these could change at any time, but my favorite Pat McGrath palette at the moment, it is, again, her newest one. It is the Mothership 10. This one is Moonlit Seduction. This was my first introduction to the Mothership palettes. And you know, you hear people talk about these special shades, and I was like, what is everybody talking about? I want to know what they're talking about too. And I feel like these special shades really are the standouts for these palettes. I'm trying to get it so you can see just how beautiful it is. These shades are so pigmented and sparkly, and some of them even have like these beautiful shifts it's just like the way the light hits it. There's something special about it, but you do still have like these beautiful satin finish shades here that give you a nice pop on the eyes. I feel like the mattes are super creamy and blendable, and I just really like this color story because it's a little bit unique in my collection. You're gonna see in a lot of my color stories, a lot of my palettes have a very repetitive color story, let's just say that. But this one is a little bit different. It brings something unique to my collection, and that's part of why I love it so much. So if I had to pick a brand that I've tried the most from, it's a toss between Natasha Denona and Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I think Anastasia might take it by just a smidge because I've tried her palettes longer. A lot of them have kind of come in and out of my collection. So thinking about all of the many ABH palettes that I've tried, everything back from the Shadow Couture World Traveler palette, the collab with Mario, Modern Renaissance, Soft Glam, all of the things in between, her Nouveau palette, the Norvina palette, like thinking about all of the palettes that I've tried, if I had to pick one that I feel like is like the best of the best, my top pick, it's obviously going to be the one I have pan in, right? Like this is for sure my most used. It's probably one of the oldest palettes in my collection. This is the Modern Renaissance. If you don't know, I don't reach for these ones so much, but like these 8 at the top here, those are really standouts for me. I was using Tempera every day all over the eyes. I was using Vermeer in the inner corner. I would use Primavera on the lid. These like matte browns, they're just everything that I wanted from a look. I would wear this when I did wear this when I was in a wedding. I would wear this as a guest at events, every day when I'm going to work. Like this was just a staple eyeshadow palette for me. I feel like it's a little cliche because I feel like everybody talks about the Modern Renaissance palette, but really it is everything that I wanted it to be. It was a go-to palette for me. I would travel with it, I would take it places, and it's been a staple in my collection. I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. Like I said, it's one of the older palettes in my collection. I don't reach in it a ton these days, but I still need it in my collection because I feel like it's an OG. I've had it for a while, and it has been my favorite of ABH so far. Next up is Huda Beauty, and I have tried several of her 9-pan eyeshadow palettes as well as 2 of her larger palettes. So in thinking about the one that I like the best, I had to go with the Naughty Nudes. The Naughty Nudes was a gift from my husband a few years ago, and this color story is just it for me. Like you have these nice neutral brown shades, but then you have like these pop of rose gold, and I'm very into like the pinky, the rose gold. I really like a nice shimmer on the lid. I really want it to pop, and some of these are just very pigmented, very punchy, and then you have others that are a little bit more subtle. They'll give you a little bit more of a sheen. The mattes are super blendable. I wouldn't say that Huda Beauty is my favorite formula in general. You may have heard me say that before. I don't like her formula the best out of all of these formulas, but in thinking about her palettes in general, this palette is definitely her favorite palette of mine, not just because my husband got it for me, but just for all of the looks that I can create. You have lighter shades, you have deeper shades, you have shifty shades. I don't really reach into this guy right here, but this color story is like my vibe. I mean, look at my eyes right now. I didn't create it with this palette, but I totally could have. Like, I'm just into the rosy vibes. Then we have Charlotte Tilbury, and again, I've tried several eyeshadow palettes from all of these, right? Because I'm telling you my favorite. But I've tried a lot of Charlotte's quads. But in thinking about my Charlotte Tilbury collection and the eyeshadows that I have tried, I would have to say that my favorite, the standout for me, is the Instant Eye palette, Smoky Eyes Are Forever. It's this one right here where you have the trios. So you get 4 different trios. You have one that's like more of a lighter go-to. You're just gonna get like a simple wash, a simple color, a simple look on the eye. Then you have the greens here, which I really like. It's a green olivey type of shade. I think are beautiful. You can get some fiery warm looks from these 3 right here. And if you want to smoke it up a little bit, you have these 3 right here where you can deepen it up and smoke it out. You don't have to use them in the trios. I typically do. You don't have to. You can mix and match. But again, I don't think the Charlotte Tilbury formula is my favorite formula out of the ones that I'm mentioning, but out of all of her palettes, this one is the standout for me because I just really like the looks that I can create. Some of these shimmers are a little bit more bold, some of them are a little bit toned down. The mattes are super creamy and blendable. You get a nice mirror, but I just really enjoy the looks that I create with this. This was a gift from my best friend's Mags, and I'm so happy it's in my collection because I think it's absolutely stunning. That brings me to NARS, and I love to talk about this eyeshadow palette during the holiday time because I think it's a great holiday palette, and it is the NARS Climax palette. I love this one because you can get, oh my gosh, it's always hard to open. You can get a variety of looks here. If you want something for New Year's where you want to go a little bit more smoky, I love this like blue-black shade. If you want something a little bit more olive or cranberry, you have these right here. Or if you're just going for like simple day-to-day, something quick and easy, you have these lighter shades. I find that these shimmers are very nice and pigmented. The mattes are super creamy and blendable. I really like the looks that I get every time I reach into this palette. I find for some reason I'm always reaching for it around the holiday time, but I feel like it's great all year round. I really like this taupey shade and I like this bright shimmer right here. Those are probably two of my favorites, but again, you can get very, very deep and smoky or very, very light. And for it to be a 9-pan palette and have that much versatility, I really think it's a great option from NARS. Dipping into the indie world, we wanted to chat about Sydney Grace, and I think if you've been on my channel for a while, you know what I'm going to say here. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. It is the Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels palette in collaboration with Mel Thompson, and if you know Mel Thompson, you know Kelsey and her were the best of friends, and there's even this shade right here, BB, which is named after Kelsey. That's not why I chose this eyeshadow palette, but I love this eyeshadow palette because it is so amazing. Like the Sydney Grace quality is stellar. It is one of the best eyeshadow formulas that I have tried. This Fire Butts shade, I don't have anything like it in my collection, and I love that shade so much. 9 times out of 10, if I'm reaching into this palette, I'm reaching into Fire Butts because it's just so unique. It's almost like a green gold. It'll pull green, but it'll pull gold. It's just very, very beautiful, very pigmented. I love the looks that I get, and as a neutral lover, I love that the color's not too intimidating. I can get some neutral looks, or I can be a little bit more bold, a little bit more colorful. They are nice and pigmented, but they're not scary. You know, like it's not a full color palette where I look at it and I say, oh my gosh, I don't know what I want to do. I reach for this palette time and time again. The artwork is amazing. The quality is amazing. And if you don't have this palette, I definitely, like 10 out of 10, recommend because I love it so much. Okay, so those were the 7 brands where Kelsey and I are like pulling from those same 7 brands, but I have 3 more brands that I am going to chat about, and I'll share my favorites with you, and they will be different from the 3 that you're going to see in Kelsey's video. So first is BH Cosmetics. Now BH Cosmetics is more affordable. I've tried several palettes from them. Some of them I've loved, some of them I've decluttered. The one that I think is the best, I don't think you can get it anymore, but I still wanted to share it because it is still my favorite eyeshadow palette from the brand, and it is the one that they did when they were doing like their travel series. It is the Amore in Amalfi. Now I know that there was a little bit of drama with this one where people were saying it was the same as Chillin' in Chicago, so if you have Chillin' in Chicago, perhaps it is the exact same, but again, this is such a Kelly color story, okay? The thing that I love about this palette too is the way you can work in rows. If you're like me, I'm not a makeup artist, by the way. Kelsey is. Kelsey is a makeup artist. I am not a makeup artist, okay? I'm just a mom and a teacher and someone who loves makeup. But the thing that I love about this is how you can go across the rows. So you can have a more brown look, you can have a pinkier look here, more oranges, or a yellow toned look. If you want to get creative and mix and match, you totally can. I find the shimmers are beautiful, they're pigmented, they last on the eyes, the mattes are super creamy and blendable. I'm saying that for all of these, I know, I'm sorry. I don't have a larger makeup vocabulary than that apparently, but I just love this eyeshadow palette. I love the artwork, I love the formula. I'm sad that you can't get it anymore. I feel like they took it away quickly, and I think part of it was because of the whole Chillin' in Chicago thing, but if you find this, it's a great eyeshadow palette. Also sticking on the affordable side, we're going to jump over to ColourPop. ColourPop is another one where I've tried several palettes. I've tried their larger palettes, I've tried their smaller palettes, but the one that sticks out to me the most, like if someone were to come up to me and say, Kelly, I'm shopping ColourPop today, tell me what I should get. Again, keep in mind, I'm a neutral lover. If you ask someone who loves color, it might be something different. For me, it's gonna be the That's Taupe palette. And I'm not even huge into cool tones. This is definitely a cool toned palette. There are only 9 shades. You can see, I really do find that I like smaller eyeshadow palettes, these that have 9 shades. You know, I don't find myself overwhelmed, but I really, really like this one. The quality is great, and not just great for ColourPop, great in general. You do have a very subtle tone difference here in the mattes, but you can also deepen it up a little bit. The shimmers are beautiful. I love every look that I create with this. This one here is a Super Shock. I usually take my finger and put that on the inner corner. Super Shock is not my favorite, but I don't mind it in this palette. I just find it's quick, it's easy. I can throw it in a bag, take it with me. You do have cardboard packaging, but you do have a nice magnetic closure, and it's just a great palette overall. It's nice for like everyday, day-to-day looks. But again, you want to stick on the lighter end, stick on the lighter end. You want to smoke it out a little, smoke it out a little. Like even for 9 pans, you have a variety here. The last brand that I'm going to chat about is Sigma Beauty. Now, I recently became an affiliate with Sigma Beauty. I have an affiliate link down below. I have a code, KBella will save you 10% at Sigma Beauty. I love them. They're known for their brushes, but they have some great makeup products too. And one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes from them is the Sigma Ambiance palette. Now, I do want to say, if you're into the minis, I've mentioned some minis. Sigma does have a mini Ambiance where there are 7 shades. And to be fair, I probably would pick that one over this one, but this is the one that I have in my collection. I gifted the smaller Ambiance palette to Smags since I had the larger one, but I'm into more like smaller compact palettes at the moment, which is why I'm saying I may choose that one over this one, but it's the same shades that are in here. Again, you can see here, neutral color story, but one of the things that I really like about this eyeshadow palette is how you can work in quads. So you can do these 4 eyeshadows here for a look, you can do these 4 eyeshadows here for a look, you can even do these 4 right here, these 4 here, these 4 here, these 4 here. Like, there's such a combination by just working in quads. You have beautiful shimmers. Some of them are a little bit more of like a topper texture, where some of them have full pigment and full opacity. You have a nice variety of mattes here, from lighter matte shades to deeper matte shades. And again, it's just quick, it's easy. I don't have to think about it. I think the formula is great. I really love some of these, like, just these like taupey, these taupey shades. That's what I'm into right now. So like this taupey shade here, I really like this one here. I really like these deep matte shades. I think Sigma really nailed it with this one. I have tried several of their eyeshadow palettes, but I have to say this color story is the one that stands out to me. Although I do know that several of their eyeshadows you can work in quads, and that's one of the things I really like about Sigma Beauty is I want my makeup to be easy. I want it to be effortless. I don't want to have to think about it too much. And I feel like this eyeshadow palette just really does that for me. But that is going to do it for this video. Those are my top eyeshadow picks from 10 popular brands. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are your favorites from these brands? Tell Kelsey and I, we want to know. But a huge shout out, thank you to Kelsey for doing this collab with me. I cannot wait to go and watch her video, to hear her picks, to see if things are the same, to see if things are different. I don't really know if I introduced myself in the beginning. If you're coming over from Kelsey's channel, hello, my name is Kelly. Like I mentioned, I am not a makeup artist. I just do this for fun. I'm a mom. I have 2 young kids, a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old. I'm a teacher. I am a teacher as my career. This is just a hobby. I love talking and I love makeup and I love talking about makeup. So that is what we are doing here. But I would love for you to subscribe and be part of the KBella fam. I can't imagine that any of my viewers don't already know Kelsey, but if you don't, jump over there, show her some love, tell her I sent you. Thank you, Kelsey, for thinking of this great idea, and I'm really looking forward to getting to meet you in 2023. But that's going to do it for this one. We do have a little tiny bit of Vlogmas left, so stay tuned. I am uploading every day through Christmas. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.